So we've been following the situation in Eswatini. Protests against the King Mswati III turned violent, and some buildings, as we've been reporting, were torched. Activists, on the other hand, say at least 8 people have been killed by police, and they're using live ammunition. We're now joined by Umsamo Institute founder, Dr. VVO Mkhize. Doctor, thank you for being with us. Firstly, what is your opinion on a powerful monarchy? Is it appropriate in a democratic age?
Thank you very much to your listeners as well as to your crew in the studio. What I would say, it's definitely not at all appropriate, and also it's actually disappointing on what we are seeing today. But if we look back a little bit, taking it back to the history where Sobhuza II, where he started on the 2nd of September in 1968, and where his reign ended in August 1982, where he actually ruled for 13 years. Now, I'm mentioning that because I think he played a major role, because when he took over, he did very well, because he took over from the British government, where I would mention that where he led the independence of his country in 1968. And also, he took Swaziland to be recognized as a so-called independent country. And also, the British government recognized him as the King of Swaziland. And remember, he led the team which went to see the King George V fighting for the land, for the rights, and so on. He even opposed the post-colonial Westminster Constitution, which was proposed by the British government, of which he signed the role of constitutional monarchy later on, where he founded the Imbokodo National Movement in 1967, where he was recognized as a king. Now, we wouldn't say that things were so much bad at that point in time until then, on the 12th of April 1973, where he actually repealed the constitution and he dissolved the parliament, which he started very well, and he started to exercise power as an absolute ruler. And during his time, the economy went very well and so on. And then when he passed away, the Mswati now that we are talking about today became the youngest at the age of 18 a person to take over. And now, unfortunately, when he took over, there were so many things that actually happened, and the allegations that he actually was funded by the government of apartheid era South Africa, where he actually became authoritarian, suppression of the opposition, and so on and so on and so on. Now, that alone actually disturbs the importance of monarchy versus democracy. Why I'm saying that is that because if you compare what has happened in our province, KwaZulu-Natal, in South Africa, the monarchy has worked very well within democracy. For instance, if you take the late King Eswatini, he was well accepted within the ANC by the assistance of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. Even when the parliament is opening in KwaZulu-Natal, it is opened by the premier.
Professor, you've just frozen, so let me interject there. Professor, we're running out of time. Thank you for that wonderful history lesson. What I want to ask you now is, do you think there's enough political pressure for the king to give up the powers that he has, to appoint the prime minister, all the political powers, and to move outside of politics, as you are suggesting? Do you think that's possible? And do we know how much support he has on the ground, and how many people in Eswatini oppose the king?
I mean, from the look of things, it is obvious that people are actually tired of the monarchy power as he has been exercising it. That is why I actually alluded to the issue of KZN, where the monarchy is actually working within the democracy. What I'm trying to say is the time is gone now for the monarchy to work on its own as an independent. People are crying for democracy today. People want to to choose and vote for their own prime ministers, for their own ministers, not actually be dictated by an individual to say, I've got a sole right of appointing people who will actually serve my own purposes and my own interest. Yeah. That's what we are seeing now in Swaziland. It is the end of monarchy, of authoritarianism, and also the suppression of opposition. That if you are a leader, you are not leading your family, you are not leading your extended family, you are not leading yourself, but you are leading the people. People want democracy, but within that democracy, yes, we can accept our customs, our traditions. We can take you as a monarchy, as a custodian of that, but let's be democratic. Yeah. That's what the world needs and wants today.
All right, Professor, thank you so much for putting this all into context for us. Umsamo Institute founder Dr. VVO Mkhize. And we'll continue to monitor the situation in Eswatini. Still, nobody has heard from the king, despite the assertions from the government that he's there. And we'll bring you all the information that we can.